It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Hey, love, shawty, what the deal? Just keep it real. Tell that brother how you feel. And we could build many levels to your world. Let them reveal how your feelings stay concealed. Sit back and chill. J Nolan. Yeah, how many brothers really know what's on your mind? When your feelings start to show, how many left them on the line? You've been down, so come into the ears of the world. Early 20s popping pills with your girls. Only the real will unfurl. Chasing thrills in the swirl for Snapchat. Catching backlash for bashing men, but they don't know the half of it. They don't see the drama you face. They get the short story. They don't see the time that it takes. But I can picture from a different spectrum. And I ain't trying to give you no suggestions. Not the exception, I've been wretched since conception. But it's about you. How you plan to get about the struggle? Don't get mad cause I confront you. Anybody can lust you, but I recognize your hustle. Writing them term papers that you turned around and sold. Got you plenty of haters, it's all game. I love it about you, they love it doubt you. All your exes suck the blood about you. Don't let it shine you what the deal. Just keep it real, tell a brother how you feel. And we could build many levels to your world. Let them reveal how your feelings stay concealed. Sit back and chill, shawty, what the deal. Just keep it real, tell a brother how you feel. And we could build many levels to your world. Let them reveal how your feelings stay concealed. Sit back and chill. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there this Thursday afternoon. First thing we're going to get into today is going to be DDG striking back against Halle Bailey. He's filed a restraining order of his own. He's also filed some sort of ex parte traveling ban things or something, like she can't travel with Halo or something like that. I'm gonna get to all of it. I have seen some chatter online. I have seen some things circulating online about Halle allegedly cutting him with a knife and, possibly threatening to unalive herself and things of that nature. Be honest, if any of this is triggering, you don't have to tune in, or definitely listen at your own discretion. As it pertains to the domestic issues between these two young individuals, I'm going to have to be as fair as I possibly can. So if I see something in here in which it looks like Halle is in the wrong, I'm going to call it in the wrong. It's very well known that I don't like DDG, and in most things I'm going to say that he is wrong. But if there's anything in this filing, it's a very long filing, it's 91 pages, that I feel she's in the wrong about, I'm going to call it out and be fair, just on a human level. It's not about absolving anybody of anything. And I think both of them are young and are in those, formative years of adulthood where you could get in a toxic relationship and it could consume you and things can go bad. You know what I'm saying? So not showing grace, gonna be honest about everything, but I want to let it be known up front. So let me go ahead and let me see what's safe to share on my screen, because I don't want anybody's personal information to be out there. I have a request for domestic violence restraining order filed by Daryl Dwayne Granberry Jr. Of course, this is against Halle Bailey. And all right, so I'm gonna go to page 2 and now I'm gonna share it so I don't have anybody's address or anything leaked on here. All right, you can see person you want protection from, Halle Bailey. Your relationship, 2-person. We have a child together named Halo St. Granberry. We are dating, or used to date, heavy on the used to date. Okay. Other restraining orders in court cases, yes. We already went through hers, which was filed before last month. Say, are you involved in any other court case? He says yes. Other domestic violence restraining order requests initiated by petitioner in this case. And we definitely saw that she provided evidence of physical abuse being leveraged upon her. We saw her cracked teeth. We saw bruises on her. We also saw the bruises that were on Ruby Rose in the past, and the same kind of situation. So I'm not, again, absolving DDG of anything, just going to see what he has to say in his filing. All right. All of the most recent abuse and things of that nature are in the attached declaration. So we're going to get through all of the... So everything says see attached declaration in all of the answers. So I might as well just get to the attached declaration. Here he's asking for a no contact order. 12, he wants a stay away order. I asked the judge to order the person in 2 to stay away from me, my home, my job, my workplace, my vehicle, each person in B, my children's school or child care. And I believe he's actually trying to petition for full custody of Halo, which clearly we already know he don't really want, because he don't even spend enough time with the child to fucking begin with. They say, how far do you want the person to stay away from you from all the places checked above? 100 yards. Do you and the person in 2 live together? No. Do you and the person have the same workplace? No. All right, more C declaration. Just wanted to... What is this? I asked the judge to allow me to record calls or communications the person in 2 makes to me when those calls or communications violate this restraining order. See if I'm missing anything. He's asking for child support, as you can see here. I find that to be interesting. We're seeing a lot of guys these days asking for child and spousal support, man. I don't know what's going on with this generation, man. I'm all for equality, but gee damn, bro. You're claiming you're making 30,000-40,000 a month off streaming. What the hell do you need child support for? Especially because you're not gonna end up getting your child. Lawyers' fees and costs. He wants that. He wants Halle to be in a batterer intervention program, which it's already been said that he has to go to one himself. Signature, blah, blah. Here we get into description. Everything says see attached declaration. So once again, let's just get to the bottom line. Here we get into child custody. Do you want the judge to make child custody orders? He says yes. Legal custody sold to me. Nigga, please. Physical custody sold to me, sold to person in 2 jointly. He says other. Sole legal custody to respondent or in the alternative joint physical custody of the minor child Halo St. Granberry on a 2255 timeshare. So I guess one parent would get the child St. Halo, 2 days, the other parent 2 days, then 5 days, then 5. I don't really see that happening, but possibly, who knows? As it pertains to visitation, do you want the person in 2 to have visits, parenting time with the children? He says yes. Do you want the visits with the children to be supervised by a third party? He says yes. Asking for a professional. So he's basically kind of low-key countering everything that she puts in hers with a filing of his own. Okay. Are they trying to say that she has a history of child abduction? Are you really trying to do that? She's already said that you did it. So here, no, has a history of abusing me. He says she has a history of child abuse. What? Taking away or hiding our children from me, threatening to take away or hide our children from me, not cooperating with me in parenting, he says. He's asking that she can't move with children without permission, turn in and do not apply for passports, of course. So she wants the judge to order person in 2 to not apply for passports or other documents that can be used for travel, like visas, and turn in the following documents. Turn in Halo's passport. provide travel plan and documents. All right, so now we get to the declaration that he was referring to in all of his answers here. It says, I, Daryl Granberry Jr., declare and state as follows. I am the respondent in this action. I have firsthand personal knowledge of the facts contained in this declaration, and if called as a witness, I could and would, blase blah. Let's get to it. Background. I am a musician, having enjoyed a successful career since 2017. As a multi-platinum rapper, singer, and songwriter, I maintain a large presence on YouTube and social media. Petitioner is a singer, actress, and songwriter, having had success in R&B and film. Petitioner and I began dating in or around November of 2021. We share one child together, Halo, born December 22nd, 2023. Our relationship quickly became volatile and was marked by repeated arguments, threats, and physical altercations. Petitioner has since weaponized our child to exert coercive control and manipulation over me, interfering with my access to Halo. While I've made every effort to be as precise as possible with dates, the abuse inflicted by Petitioner occurred so frequently and pervasively throughout our relationship that it is difficult to recall the exact dates of each incident. Additionally, Petitioner has engaged in the following conduct, thereby perpetrating abuse upon against me as recognized pursuant to the Domestic Violence Prevention Act. So, summary of abuse perpetuated upon me. Petitioner routinely used emotional coercion, including but not limited to threats of self-harm, when I attempted to leave the relationship and or establish boundaries, right? So he's saying each time that he's attempted to leave Halle, he claims that she has threatened to hurt herself. Petitioner weaponized our pregnancy, demanding reconciliations or placing me in the impossible situation of being threatened that she would abort our baby should I not reconcile or accede to her demands. Petitioner on multiple occasions invaded my privacy by going through my phone while I was asleep. Petitioner engaged in physical abuse perpetuated upon me by slapping and punching me during an August 2024 altercation over my phone, he says. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while driving a car on August 16, 2024, while leaving the Bruno Mars concert in Los Angeles. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while we were parked outside her house during a custody exchange on January 18, 2025, then falsely claimed I slammed her head into the steering wheel. So he is now trying to pull the reverse Uno card about this in-car altercation that ultimately ended up chipping her tooth. He's claiming that she was hitting on him rather than the other way around. Petitioner on multiple occasions has physically attacked me during custodial exchanges of Halo, including but not limited to grabbing and pulling Halo from my arms. Petitioner has surveilled me through the surreptitious use of Apple AirTags placed within my vehicles. Petitioner shows up uninvited to events, including a movie theater and studio sessions, often resulting in confrontations. Petitioner pushed me and attempted to attack my companion while outside a movie theater in June of 2023. What you mean, your companion? Thought y'all was in a relationship. That's interesting. Petitioner has frequently used racial slurs, like calling you a nigga. Come on, dog. Directed at me in front of others, including family, friends, and our child. Petitioner has denigrated and demeaned my masculinity, saying I wasn't enough of a man for her. Petitioner exercises coercive control over me by withholding access to our son Halo based upon my refusal to abide by her dictates or demands. Petitioner frequently changes agreed upon custody arrangements without notice, denying my access to Halo as a tool for control or punishment. I find that to be funny because all of the arrangements of Halo being in your possession are being handled through your mother. So how's she all of a sudden changing everything for you? Interesting. Petitioner blocks communications, demanding that all communications involving Halo proceed through my mother. So you're saying that she's demanding that the communications go through the mom, not that that was the natural order. Petitioner during the but your brother went on stream and said that you and him don't deal with your baby mothers. Y'all do it through your mamas. Through your mama. The reason why you see Halo running through this house is because my mama gets him. Me and my brother don't even get our babies. They go through my mama. Your own brother got on stream and said that about both of yous. This why I don't like this nigga. This why I can't really believe too much about this nigga. Your own brother contradicts your statements. But we'll continue. Petitioner during emotional outbursts has destroyed my personal property, including my laptop that contained critical music and content work. Petitioner stole my legally owned firearm during an argument in August of 2023 and was found outside the house in possession of it. Relationship timeline and emotional coercion. In early 2022, our relationship deteriorated after petitioner became verbally aggressive largely due to her growing hostility related to my professional collaborations with other women and her fixation on my past relationships. Now, here's the thing about collaborations with other women, right? If you're getting on stream with women that you wouldn't be around if they weren't attractive, or that you aren't flirting with in some fashion, would she still have that same issue with you collaborating with women? Because a lot of the times, anytime a DDG stream comes out with a woman, it's largely looked at like, oh, is this his new girl? Is this who he's finna be dating? Those things start circulating. I don't follow him closely, but enough of his content circulates on social media with those types of things being perpetuated. So I could understand why a woman would be concerned about the professional collaborations with other women. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to collaborate with women in your space, but the intentionality of it it could be in question, right? And the fixation on past relationships, you're the one that was sending texts to your ex, right? Didn't Ruby leak that stuff out? Didn't Ruby Rose come out on the internet and show us that Halle was wearing one of her old shirts from your past relationship? I would think that would be something for a woman to be concerned about as well. Like, I'm wearing this t-shirt. You didn't tell me that it belonged to your ex. You know what I'm saying? So this is where things get tricky, because it's too much public information to fully be able to support him. Now, again, if there are some instances in where Halle is being irrational or doing something out of protocol, I'm gonna have to call it. But as of yet, I'm just reading through it and shooting off the hip. During Grammy weekend in February 2022, petitioner became enraged over text messages between me and a previous girlfriend. Excuse me. An argument ensued wherein petitioner texted another man to arrange to meet at 2 a.m. following a Grammy after party. Okay, so she got tired of you texting your ex, so she then made plans to link with another man at 2 a.m. Both of y'all in the wrong on this one, as I can see. Although my messages were platonic in nature, petitioner fixated on them and retaliated by texting the other individual. This marked the point at which I attempted to end our relationship. Despite my attempts to end the relationship, petitioner continued to contact and pursue me. So if this was going on in 2022, why didn't you leave her? Even if she did continue to contact you. Over time, her persistence elicited a sense of sympathy in me, which ultimately led to our reconciliation. Unfortunately, following our reunion, her behavior grew increasingly volatile, characterized by escalating verbal abuse and eventually physical aggression. Shortly thereafter, we reconciled, and despite our best intentions, the relationship continued to suffer because of petitioner's insecurity. Petitioner continued to accuse me of impropriety whenever I spent time in the studio or collaborated with female artists or content creators. I do believe that Bia had some sort of run-in with Halle recently. I don't know the extent of it, but I do believe that there was something discussed between herself and DDG on a recent stream within the last couple months when they worked on some music. Petitioner would initiate arguments premised upon speculation and jealousy. Her constant accusations, having no basis in fact, utterly destroyed my peace of mind and emotional calm. Petitioner would routinely compare our relationship to those I had with former partners, particularly another rapper and popular content streamer. I'm sure that's Ruby. Petitioner would use these comparisons to undermine and criticize me. As a result of Petitioner's jealousies and insecurities, I found myself entangled in an on-again, off-again relationship marked by ongoing emotional volatility, unresolved conflict, and repeated attempts at reconciliation that ultimately failed to establish lasting stability. Okay. Petitioner conduct interference with respect to my access and time spent with Halo is used to control me. Petitioner limits my ability to be a father to our son, particularly when I refuse to accede to her demands. Petitioner's obstruction is retaliatory and habitually occurs when I refuse to follow petitioner's dictates. Petitioner will attempt to exert control over my streaming content, my streaming associations, or my refusal to reconcile with her. Okay, now I don't know what dates he's gonna follow up with proof of these claims, because to our knowledge, the control over the time with your son is trying to put it on schedule. She claims that you want to just pull up and come get your kid. She claims that you just pull up to her house whenever you want, and you've invaded her home by breaking in while she wasn't there. So what's your explanation for that? When it comes to exerting control over streaming content and things of that nature, I highly doubt that that's well, she doesn't want her son on your streams. We did see that in her restraining order, that she wanted to keep Halo off stream, which I don't think is unreasonable. And outside of that, I'm wondering what other control she could be trying to exert in the present tense. Now, when y'all were together in the same home or anything like that, perhaps, maybe we did see video of her circulating about, she was hungry. They were agreeing to get food. He even admitted on the stream that it was his day to not even be on stream. However, he chose to get on anyway and was on for an exorbitant amount of time. He then says, "Let me go before I get a whooping." So it seems like things of that nature, it's like I got to be honest, it's a manipulation tactic by him to egg her on. Because if y'all agreed that you weren't going to be streaming, and then you stream and then you be on all day, she hungry, she wants to go get food with you and the child, why should she have to wait if you wasn't even supposed to be on? Now, I'm not saying that that's the situation in every situation. I'm just saying that apparently him or his team leaked this out while all of this is coming out at the same time, right? And remember, he had came out and said, "I'm done protecting you. I'm gonna start. Y'all don't know what she's all about. We're gonna let it be known." So now he's starting to try to fight back in the court of public opinion. All right. We'll keep going. Despite multiple attempts to reconcile for the sake of our child, petitioner's behavior has escalated to include physical violence, emotional manipulation, threats of self-harm, and coercive control. I am now seeking protection for myself and our son. So they get into Halle's alleged verbal abuse. Petitioner habitually used verbally abusive and profane language, often yelling, "Fuck you, nigga, stupid ass bitch," and calling me bitch during arguments. I'm sure you've called her the same, but we'll continue. Petitioner would frequently denigrate and demean me by telling me I am not enough of a man for her. These verbal assaults often occurred in the presence of others, including family members, and most troubling for me, our infant child. Okay, now I remember in Halle's restraining order, she said that you frequently called her a bitch in front of the child as well. One quote stating, "Get the fuck out my car, bitch," in the presence of your child. The verbal assaults often occurred in the presence of others, including family members, and most troubling for me, our infant child. Incidents of this nature occurred repeatedly throughout our relationship. Pregnancy-related emotional abuse and coercion. Now, this here is going to be interesting. Despite the instability, petitioner disclosed in or about April of 2023 that she was pregnant with our son. We had multiple conversations of our plans to co-parent together, even though our relationship had ended. Okay, so they're saying that in April of 2023, they were no longer together, but she was pregnant. Despite recognizing that our relationship was unstable, I still wanted to move forward with having our child and was prepared to take on that responsibility. At the same time, I made it clear to petitioner that I would support whatever decision she ultimately made regarding the pregnancy, so long as I was kept informed and included in the process. My only request was to be part of the decision. In June of 2023, I discovered petitioner attempted to terminate the pregnancy without my knowledge or consent, regardless of our prior discussions to parent the child together. Okay, so he's saying that they were no longer together at this point in 2023. She was pregnant with Halo, and he was okay with that. And he was okay with her moving forward with the pregnancy so long as she kept him in tune and informed, he claims. He then says in June, she attempted to terminate the pregnancy without his knowledge or consent. On or about June 6th, 2023, petitioner contacted me complaining that she was bleeding and in pain. In my effort to assist, I contacted her OBGYN and learned that petitioner had attempted to abort the baby but failed to take the second abortion dose. Interesting. Now, I don't know what was going on in June of 2023 on a public level. If y'all know, let me know if there was any kind of, turmoil that was public at that time. But he's stating that she had taken some sort of abortion medicine and she didn't take the second dose, and she was then bleeding in her private area and in pain. He says, following this discovery, I spoke to petitioner and asked why she would abort our child after we had agreed to co-parent together. Petitioner threatened me by demanding that we reconcile or she would go through with the abortion. So at this point, DDG is claiming that they then had a conversation about this, and Halle allegedly said, we need to get back together or I'm going to go through with the abortion. He says this was the most troubling of her attempts to coercively control me. Okay. Following this threat to I'm just going to use the word terminate the pregnancy, coupled with the fact that she attempted to terminate without informing me, I made the decision to cut ties with her. I could no longer be subjected to her controlling behavior, and I wondered whether her actions may have jeopardized the health and well-being of our unborn child. Now, what I don't understand is if y'all are in this volatile relationship, which clearly it was from both sides, they're claiming it is, why would you want her to go through with having the child? That would be a grave mistake, in my opinion. If this is your opportunity to get away and not be with her as a man, then why would you be so what's the word I'm looking for? Why would you be so okay with her continuing to have the child, especially if she's voicing to you a desire to perhaps not? I mean, not everybody believes in terminating pregnancy, and I get that part. But from a life standpoint, a peace of mind standpoint, that was actually your opportunity to not procreate with this person and have a clean out. Why didn't you take it? But then he says, I made the decision to cut ties with her. Right? So you cut ties with her, but you didn't want her to cut ties with pregnancy, which meant that no matter what, you were going to be tied to her for the rest of your life. Strange. Despite making it clear I wanted out of the relationship, petitioner insisted that the baby was unharmed and informed me that she began attending multiple medical appointments in an effort to reassure me. These appointments appeared less about transparency and more about convincing me to stay. Ultimately, we learned that our baby was miraculously healthy. Moved by that outcome and motivated by a desire to preserve a sense of family for my unborn son, I chose to reconcile with petitioner once again in hopes of creating a stable environment for our child. If she's so crazy and you keep breaking it off with her, true to form, petitioner in an effort to control me once again repeatedly threatened to proceed with what? To proceed with the termination and or express regret that she had not already done so. These repeated threats and comments caused me severe emotional harm and distress. That's why you should have left when you had the chance. And yes, I'm putting that onus on him as the man. You can go. She can't exert force on you to stay. She can't, you know what I mean, overpower you to stay. Petitioner surveillance and stalking with air tags. Petitioner has repeatedly shown up unannounced to places I frequent, initiating public confrontations and verbal outbursts. Okay, so I guess on or about June 16th. All right, so this is during the time where he allegedly broke it off. She's now popping up on him. Okay, I got you. While petitioner was pregnant, she appeared uninvited at a movie theater in Westwood where I was attending a film with a female friend. To be clear, this individual has been a long-standing, strictly platonic friend, and there was no romantic or inappropriate relationship between us at any time. I later discovered that petitioner had been using hidden Apple AirTags in my vehicles to monitor my location, which explains how she knew where I was that evening. I don't agree with that. I don't think you should do that to nobody. All right? So, Halle, I do believe you are in the wrong for that. I also believe that if you're holding your pregnancy over a mate that doesn't want to be with you, that's wrong as well. You know what I'm saying? I got to be honest. I got to be fair. Petitioner entered the theater and immediately began shouting profanities in a loud and disruptive manner for all to hear. I was incredibly embarrassed by the incident. In an effort to de-escalate the situation so as to avoid further confrontation, I exited the theater with my companion. The petitioner then followed closely behind, continuing to shout expletives and directing her verbal assault at both me and my friend, referring to us as bitches and threatening to beat her ass. She made repeated accusations of infidelity and attempted to initiate a physical altercation with my friend, all while continuing to use hostile and inflammatory language at the two of us. Now this portion here it reads youth to me, and they are young. Because, number one, I don't think she should have put an air tag on his vehicle, right? But then you're in this volatile situation. You're being accused of infidelity. You're going through all of this pregnancy turmoil. And then you popping out with this girl. Not to say that she should have ran up on you at the movie theater. I don't condone that either. But you pop out with the girl. You leave with the girl. And it doesn't seem like you did anything to make the woman holding your child in her body more at ease about the situation. I don't see any language here that speaks to that. Excuse me. Because at that point, it's like, yo, I don't know if you took the young lady to the movies, if y'all met there, like certain details need to be understood, like how this friend was supposed to get home. Because if you physically had to take her, then I kind of get it. She made repeated accusations of infidelity, blah, 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 and continuing to use hostile and inflammatory language at the two of us. As petitioner attempted to physically attack my friend, I was forced to intervene and restrain petitioner to prevent harm to both my friend and to petitioner who was carrying our unborn child. Okay. This incident was particularly troubling as it clearly established that petitioner was becoming more unhinged more frequently. We're going to have to explore that friend relationship a little bit more. But I'm gonna be honest, Halle was wrong. Now I do understand she's pregnant. She's going through hormonal changes. She's on edge, and you're agitating her in different ways. But I don't think this was handled properly. During petitioner's pregnancy from April through December 2023, I found Apple AirTags in my vehicles. Upon discovering these devices, I realized petitioner was using these devices to stalk and surveil me. I did not become aware that petitioner was tracking my movements until I began receiving persistent and unfamiliar Apple AirTag notifications on my electronic devices. It became evident that petitioner had been using AirTags to stalk and monitor my whereabouts together with my mother and her fiance, George Charleston. Okay, so that's who George is, who also serves as my driver. We discovered Apple AirTags concealed in all three of my vehicles, a Rolls Royce, a Maybach, and an Escalade. George and I frequently received alerts indicating that an unknown AirTag was moving with us. Despite multiple attempts to prompt the device to emit an audible sound so as to identify the location of the device, it remained undetected until later inspections by George and my mother. On one occasion during the pregnancy, an AirTag was found by my mother hidden inside a vitamin bottle. Huh? How? Stored in the trunk of my car. On another occasion, it was discovered by a close female friend of mine tucked within a baby bottle holder. Each time an AirTag was located, it was promptly removed and discarded. The repeated placement of these devices demonstrates a clear and disturbing pattern of stalking and surveillance without my knowledge and consent, of all which further contributed to my sense of fear, violation, and lack of privacy. Now, let's be clear, nigga. You ain't fearing for shit, because you've been keeping tabs on her the same way. Might even be where she got the motherfucking idea from, if we're gonna keep it a buck. But hey, let's continue. Following our child's birth, petitioner's emotional volatility continued to increase. She frequently went through my phone without permission while I was asleep, using what she found to start confrontations. Okay? And here's the thing about somebody checking your phone, homie. And I say this to anybody. I don't like the idea of invading your partner's privacy. If you can't trust your partner, then you probably need to separate yourself. But at the same time, if she's checking your shit, it shouldn't be nothing in there for her to find to create arguments about. If we're gonna be honest, these incidents occurred during a period when petitioner and I were in an on again, off again relationship. Okay. That's a convenient excuse. We were on again, off again, so I was doing my thing here and there. Nah, nigga, fuck out of here with that. Despite the instability between us, I made a concerted effort to maintain the relationship and provide a sense of stability, particularly after learning she was pregnant. I would often fall asleep while scrolling TikTok, wherein petitioner would take these opportunities to enter, hack into my device without my permission. You ain't gonna tell us what she found. Petitioner's physical violence and outbursts. In or about August of 2024, petitioner became physically violent when I refused to give her my phone. She slapped and punched me repeatedly while I attempted to de-escalate the situation. I don't think that was right of Halle, if that indeed happened. My mother witnessed the incident and intervened to get her to stop. Also present was a close family friend, Richard, and I had to physically restrain petitioner by holding her wrist in an attempt to get her to stop the assault. During the chaos, she ran off with my laptop from the garage. Petitioner repeatedly texted me and threatened to destroy it unless I answered her calls. Again, I don't think that's proper handling on her part. The incident arose from one of many arguments sparked by petitioner's jealousy and mistrust over my professional content collaborations. Yeah, get into what really happened. As a content creator, streamer, video editor, and music producer, my laptop is essential to my livelihood. It contains ongoing projects, unreleased footage, and software critical to my work. This act not only caused significant financial harm, but also disrupted my ability to meet professional obligations. Attached here too, as Exhibit 1, is a true and correct copy of petitioner's messages from June 2023, wherein she states my computer is broken following her belief that I cheated on her. That ain't right. And even if you did cheat on her, I can't say that that was right of her. There's no way I can, you know what I mean? You can't destroy people's property. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. Petitioner consistently expressed discomfort and hostility toward my work, particularly when it involved collaborating or filming with other women. She refused to be a part of my content and often used emotional manipulation or conflict to prevent me from filming with female colleagues, despite the professional nature of my work. In contrast, I was expected to accept her participation in intimate on-screen roles, including kissing and close physical contact with her male co-stars in films without objection. This double standard created, man, fuck all that. Nah. You know how much money she get paid for a film? Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid, she getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to do a little kiss and peck hug. All right? It's professionally run. Nobody believes it's real. They're literally acting with a whole script. You, on the other hand, are streaming for fucking incels and losers. And I'm going to be honest, not everybody that watches streams are incels and losers. I'm not saying that. But there's a hefty population of incels and losers that tune in, and every woman they see you stand next to, they assume that's your new piece. Let's be fucking clear. Fuck all that. Nah, nigga. Anyway. I was expected to accept her participant, blah, blah, without objection. This double standard created ongoing tension and further reflected the controlling and unequal dynamic in our relationship. Y'all dynamic was going to be unequal from the jump. Y'all are unequal, and that's not a bad thing. But it was naturally going to be unequal. Because why the fuck do you care that she's kissing a nigga for a movie? Petitioner has repeatedly interfered with my work, often by initiating arguments, causing disruptions while I was recording or editing, or withholding access to necessary equipment. Petitioner would force me to edit her out of projects last minute and or refuse to allow me or my family to post projects with her likeness or features after having granted consent. Her conduct severely impacted my ability to earn income and maintain stability. I would need a little bit more information about the nature of the consent of her on stream. I would need more information because I haven't seen those. Notably, on August 16, 2024, I documented one such outburst by Petitioner as we were leaving a Bruno Mars concert at the Intuit Dome, which we had attended with our son. During this incident, Petitioner became upset and demanded we leave. As I was driving back home from the concert, what made her upset? What made her upset about this Bruno Mars concert? As I was driving back home from the concert, she became verbally aggressive and emotionally unhinged in the presence of our child. She began to hit me as I was driving with our child. Petitioner clearly had no regard for her personal safety or that of our infant sons. I ended up pulling the car over so that I could de-escalate her volatility and make sure we were safe. I recorded her outburst to preserve a record of her behavior, as it reflected an ongoing pattern of volatility that has continued to jeopardize both my emotional well-being and our son's sense of safety and stability. I will play the recording during trial. However, attached here too as Exhibit 2 is a true and correct transcript of that recording. We're going to have to see what that's hitting on. And I still need to know what she became aggressive about at the concert if y'all was out having a good time at Bruno Mars. I don't think it's okay to hit somebody while they're driving a car, period, whether your child is there or not, but doing it in front of your child is worse. You're threatening the safety of all three of y'all and other drivers on the road. So there's no way that I could co-sign that behavior. because you could easily do some shit that's going to jeopardize everybody's life. But I also believe him recording this situation may not have been in good faith. It could have been a situation in which she was provoked to become irate, and then let me pull out the camera, because that's what manipulators and narcissists and fucking abusers do in order to create some sort of footprint to protect themselves at a later time. I'm just going to be honest about that piece. If I'm going to call it, I got to call it for real. I've also repeatedly called my mother during incidents where petitioner was physically assaulting me. This occurred so frequently I cannot provide the court with specific dates. Why not? If you got calls to your mom, if you have text to your mom, you should be able to provide the dates of which they happen. That don't make sense to me. These events were not isolated. She often refused to leave my home or enter my vehicle, preventing me from leaving and demanding conversations against my will. On multiple occasions, petitioner has refused to let me leave her home by physically blocking exits and threatening to withhold our son if I attempted to separate from her. Now, to the men out there, if a woman starts threatening you about your child, and this is just to men in general, this ain't got shit to do with DDG. At that point, although you may hurt her feelings, figure out how to get in contact with the courts to figure out something and get something on paper. From the moment somebody threatens you about your child, that is not something to take lightly. Just gonna be honest. I know like real life doesn't play out like that, but as men, got to start taking more responsibility for these situations. If you truly care about being involved in your child's life, you got to be more vigilant about solidifying your presence if somebody is willing to make those types of threats. Protect yourself, all right? This life is about self-preservation. Anyway, on or about January 18th, 2025, petitioner agreed that I could pick up our son Halo for an overnight visit. However, when I arrived at her residence, she insisted that we discuss and formalize a visitation schedule, an issue that had become increasingly contentious due to her repeated pattern of using Halo as a means of control, arbitrarily limiting my access based on her emotions or preferences. After placing Halo in his car seat, petitioner unexpectedly entered the backseat of the vehicle and refused to exit, effectively preventing me from exercising my custodial time. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. Because this is the incident in which her tooth got cracked. Now, I'm sure if she entered your car, she wanted to speak. So, effectively prevent. All right. Despite my repeated request for her to leave the car, she locked herself inside with Halo and grew increasingly agitated. How she lock herself inside from the back seat? Concerned for the safety and well-being of our son, I called my mother for guidance on how to proceed. During this incident, petitioner demanded that I talk to her and make a schedule. So why didn't you talk to her and make a schedule like a responsible adult? That's that don't make no sense. you making yourself look worse here, because her getting in the car and sitting in the back seat and saying, hey, we need to talk and figure out a schedule. You can't just keep coming over here and getting them or calling me right when you want to get them. We need to put it on paper. That is not an unreasonable demand, request, or whatever you want to call it. But she says you said, bitch, get out of my car. He claims she then proceeded to strike me from the back seat by launching herself over the center console into the front seat to punch me. As she did so, her own momentum caused her to hit her head on the steering wheel. Oh, her momentum. At no point did I strike her. In fact, I attempted to shield myself by restraining her arms to prevent further punches. So you mean to tell me she jumped over your seat, over the front seat, and her momentum carried her to not run into you, but she went face first into the steering wheel off her own momentum, enough to crack her tooth. Now, what type of Looney Tune shit are you describing here? Eventually, I can't even get over that. You talking about some Tom and Jerry shit. Eventually, I drove home with Petitioner still in the back seat car in effort to get her to calm down and exercise my visitation. And I'm still trying to understand how she successfully locked herself into the car. Okay? Are you saying that she put the child lock on herself to where she couldn't she would put herself in a position where she couldn't physically remove herself from the car even if she wanted to? Because other than that, no matter what you do with the standard lock, you unlock it, she could get out. She claims that she was uh, held captive and forced to ride. You saying that you proceeded to ride with her in the back after she had launched herself at you and was punching on you. At that point, I would have called the police and had her removed if I felt that I was being endangered. Why would I ride around with a person that just jumped on me from the back seat, cracked their tooth on my steering wheel, and was punching on me, and to think that they wouldn't snap and start punching on me again if such a thing occurred in that order? Why would you drive home with her still in the car if you don't even want her around in the first place? It's going to be hard for me to get to Section 33 because Section 32 is sounding like a whole load of hot bullshit. Talking about you want to uphold your custodial duties. How you finna do that with her micromanaging you over the shoulder and coming to your house with the kid? Eventually, I drove home with Petitioner still in the backseat car in an effort to get her to calm her down and exercise my visitation. I arrived home and went inside with Halo as Petitioner stayed outside to talk to my family and complain about the status of our relationship. At that point, how was she supposed to get home? And y'all don't live close. I think you say you traveling at least an hour to and fro from her house. After my mother arrived, Petitioner spent time with my little sister, who eventually drove her home. At no point did she leave the premises in a state of distress or hysteria. It kind of contradicts things. Attached here too, as Exhibit 3, is true and correct reflection of my injuries sustained by Petitioner from her attack. This behavior is consistent with her ongoing efforts to interfere with my custodial rights, including unilaterally denying visitation and traveling out of town, such as her undisclosed trip to St. Lucia. Undisclosed? We got fucking proof of her reaching out to your mama. What the fuck? Which I only discovered through social media. Do you want me to read your shit in that tone, sir? Because that's what we getting at. These acts demonstrate a continued pattern of coercive control, emotional volatility, and disregard for agreed-upon parenting arrangements when she clearly reached out to my mother and posted texts of her reaching out to my mother, the person who I've
made it clear she needs to reach out to coincide with visits. She even offered my mother the opportunity to get Halo before she left the country. Doo-doo Garbage said through his mother, "I'll wait till she gets back." Then proceeded a social media onslaught. Boy, did you forget we just read through her shit a couple weeks ago? Boy. Oh, boy. Petitioner's repeated threats of self-harm and attempted to unalive herself. Petitioner routinely used emotional coercion and manipulation. That's you're gonna fuck around and disqualify all the merits of your claims here. Because now I know specifically that you lying throughout that whole passage. That's gonna make me question every other allegation in this bitch. The earliest account of this I have documented was in March 2022. We were in Atlanta and an argument ensued between us. I left Petitioner as I did not want to continue to engage in a fight with her. Upon leaving, Petitioner repeatedly called me. When I didn't answer her calls, she then proceeded to text me. Attached here too as Exhibit 4 is a true and correct copy of these messages. In these messages, Petitioner is threatening to end the relationship if I do not answer her calls. When I respond informing her I just want to be left alone, she threatens me, claiming she has a knife. On several occasions, Petitioner has threatened to unalive herself, especially when I try to end the relationship or leave her residence. In or about August of 2023, during a particularly volatile argument, Petitioner became enraged and threatened to end her life using my legally owned firearm. Without my consent, she took the weapon and left the house. Alarmed and unable to locate her, I immediately contacted my mother, who arrived shortly thereafter with her fiancé George to assist in the search. George ultimately located Petitioner outside in possession of the firearm. He safely retrieved the weapon from her. Following this, Petitioner proceeded to run upstairs and locked herself in the master bedroom closet, where she remained lying on the floor in an emotionally unstable state. This incident was one of several in which Petitioner's actions posed a serious threat to her own safety and the safety of our son by creating an environment of emotional distress and danger within the home. Again, I gotta be fair. If she threatened to do that to herself with your own firearm, that is not okay by any stretch of the imagination. On March 21st, 2024, Petitioner sent messages threatening to unalive herself and made statements that suggested she might harm our son. She then attempted to drive while in emotional distress with our child in the car. I was so concerned for Halo's safety that I contacted Petitioner's godmother asking her to intervene. Why you ain't called the police? You called her godmother, but you ain't called the police if you're afraid she might harm your child? On at least two other occasions that I can recall, one in September 2024 and another in November 2024, Petitioner sent similarly threatening messages. Attached here too as Exhibit 5 are true and correct copies of text messages I received from Petitioner. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. When I say why you ain't call the police, I say that from experience. I've actually dealt with somebody who, and this is in my years prior. This is before Jamie. I want to be very clear. Dealt with people that have threatened to do just that. And when people threaten to do that, I say you need to talk to a professional. I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? First couple times you play like that, it get weird. And it's like, hey, why would you say something like that? You know, try to have a heart-to-heart conversation. But I had somebody actually threaten. She said, ain't nothing you could do about it because you can't stop me from taking these pills while you asleep. She said that. I called the police. You ain't finna OD while I'm asleep and I wake up next to a cold case. No. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being extremely real. Policia. Anyway, we'll continue. Given these threats to self-harm, I believe petitioner is a threat to our son's safety, such that she should not be allowed to take Halo out of the country to Italy for a period of 2 months. What the hell does that have to do with her leaving the country with the child? She gonna be completely away from you. She gonna be out on business doing her own thing to film a movie, and her family is gonna be with her during this trip. These things do not lead, and this is a whole year ago of an instance you talking about. I believe petitioner is a threat to our son's safety, such that she should not be allowed to take Halo out of the country to Italy for a period of 2 months. I am filing a concurrent ex parte application seeking to preclude petitioner's international travel. In the event this court does not grant the ex parte relief, I will have no choice but to report petitioner's threats to harm herself by thereby placing our son's safety at risk with the Los Angeles County Department of... You're going to go to DCFS a year later? Huh? Well, shut your bitch ass up. Stupid ass. Petitioner's coercive control of my access to Halo. Petitioner repeatedly refused to allow me to see Halo when I was not in a romantic relationship with her. If I created content with other women or posted something online, she would block me and withhold access. She often used our son as leverage to control me emotionally or punish me. Petitioner frequently blocked me on all platforms after breakups and would only communicate through my mother. This became a constant pattern, with her toggling between affectionate behavior and extreme hostility, depending on whether I was physically or emotionally available to her. That would have told me to get the fuck before she had that baby. You know, when you tried to break it off before, when you allegedly saw the signs. Petitioner has routinely threatened to withhold custody and block visitation when I assert boundaries or request changes to our parenting plan. She has made it difficult to arrange pickup and drop off and has resorted to screaming and threats during these exchanges, often in front of our son, because you refuse to just make a visitation schedule. Nigga. During one incident, petitioner physically prevented me from retrieving our son by standing in front of the door while yelling profanities at me because you was finna try to take your son and leave. My mother was often involved in facilitating safe custody exchanges due to petitioner's unpredictability and refusal to communicate directly. She has witnessed petitioner attempting to take Halo from my arms and deny my parental rights, including an incident at petitioner's West Hollywood apartment where her sister, godmother, and father were present. As I was holding Halo in my arms in an attempt to visit our son, petitioner began to hit me in an effort to get me to stop from taking Halo for the limited amount of time she had already agreed for me to have him in my care and custody. Petitioner's escalating behavior poses an immediate threat to my safety and emotional well-being, and more importantly, to the stability and safety of our son. As a result of such conduct behavior, I respectfully request the following protective orders: personal conduct and stay away orders, sole legal and physical custody of Halo. You're not finna get that, bro. To me, prohibition on removing our son from California or the United States without court permission, use of our family wizard for communication and coordination. Why you ain't want to use it before? Order that all custodial exchanges be facilitated by third parties, including my mother or a nanny, to avoid further direct contact with petitioner. She already filed for that, so why would you? I declare under penalty of perjury, and she don't want your mama there neither. She wants a professional there. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. Your ass is perjuring your motherfucking self in quite a bit of this. I ain't gonna say everything is a lie, but you got enough of them in here. So here we go back to June of 2023. We have Halle saying, "That's not right. I have to go. I've been so nice. I've been calm. I've not broken your property or anything." I guess this is the laptop incident. She says, I have to go. I'm pregnant and you're trying to cause me more stress for no reason. I said this morning, respectfully, I'm not arguing with you anymore. You want to be petty, you can be petty by yourself. Okay, so this is all sent at 1:44. Stop blocking me. But I thought she was the one blocking you, Nick. Which one is? She says, okay, I gave you a chance. You've ruined my whole day. I have to work. Your computer is broken now. Goodbye. Okay, so hold on. So this started at 12:57. Within a period of about 20 minutes, you never responded to her. You said that you viewed all of these at once at 1:44. So she broke your laptop, which I don't agree with. I don't think that's okay. Halle comes back and says, hey, so I'm going to stop calling now. You've cheated on me. I literally caught you with another girl last night. I'm guessing that's the movie thing. And today you've stolen my car. Oh, what the fuck? All while I'm pregnant. Why you ain't say that you took her vehicle, nigga? All while I'm pregnant. I can't do this anymore. She said, you cheated on me. I caught you with another girl. And today you stole my car. How does this make you look any better, sir? I tried to call you to tell you I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm leaving work now. I'm tired. I tried. And I believe she's pregnant at this time, right? Please don't try and say I didn't tell you when I'm blowing up your phone. I can't do this. If this is how it's going to be, I want to be free. I wish you the best in everything that you do in the future. I don't see how she's trying to hold you hostage. DDG says, how come you can take my things and I can't take yours? Just give me my laptop back and I'll happily give you your car keys. That's not how that works, my nigga. Now, she was wrong for taking your laptop, but how you gonna take her car? These are not equal value. Doo-doo garbage. I'll bring you your keys when you get home. Just let me know when home. She says, I'm home. Take me to dinner. We need to have a civil conversation. Unfortunately, a sensible person would not have said, take me to dinner. I'm gonna be honest. Not after stolen car. We're not going to dinner. She says, I'm not doing back and forth with you anymore. Okay? He says, if you're going to actually listen to me, I will. She says, I'm not listening to you demean or insult me anymore, so don't even try it. I am hurt by you enough. So when she says, I'm not listening to you demean or insult me anymore, well, where's your text of demeaning her? You trying to say she's making it up? Niggas only want to put one side of the story. She says, if you're not going to be gentle with me when I'm going through this hard time, then we don't need to talk. Exhibit 2. Respondent is DDG, right? It says, keep hitting me. Petitioner says, you stupid bitch. Keep hitting me. Halle allegedly says, you're a stupid bitch. I guess this is recorded. He says, keep hitting me. She says, cheating ass. He says, keep hitting me. So allegedly, she's hitting him. He's saying, keep hitting me, which I wouldn't say. But anyway, she's calling him a cheater. She calls him dirty dick. He says, yup, keep hitting me. Ass bitch. Dirty dick ass bitch. He says, yup, keep hitting me. She says, yeah, you got fucked. He said, wait. He says, yeah, you got fucked. She says, get out of my car. He says, you got fucked before. Keep hitting me. She says, I never got fucked. Where are you making yourself look better? I don't think she's right for hitting you. But you are lit. Okay, now we're seeing what you doing here. You claiming that she cheating. Yeah, you got fucked. Yes, you did. Yeah, keep hitting me. She says, nope, not even by you. He says, yep, keep hitting me. She says, not even by you. He says, keep hitting me, keep hitting me. That's all he's saying. She's saying, stupid ass. Yeah, I bet you calm down, he says. She says, get the fuck out my car. He says, bet you calm down now. She says, get out my car then. He says, I bet you calm down. I wonder what he's doing that's prompting him to say, I bet you calm down now. What is that? Because I can't physically see it. What is he doing that's making him say, I bet you calm down now? She says, get out my car trying to disrespect me in my car. He says, I bet you calm down now. She says, so get out, so get out. He says, bet you calm down now. She says, so get out. Bet you calm down now. What do you think the fucking cone is? Sir, how does this make you look any better? I'm sure a judge gonna say why you never got out. But I'm not a judge, I'm not a legal professional. Exhibit 3. So this is, I believe Exhibit 3 was from the altercation that occurred with him in the front seat, her allegedly in the back. He's showing a cut here on his thumb. Now I have seen this. But what I've also seen is people trying to say that she cut him with a knife. But there was no mention of a knife in this instant. So it had to have been like a fingernail or something. He's got I guess, a scratch on his arm. He shows the same thumb again. So he's showing a cut on his thumb and a couple scratches on his arm. She's showing us a cracked tooth. I don't think, I gotta be honest, cracked tooth is excessive. Y'all shouldn't be fighting either way. But come on. This is in 2022. This is pre-pregnancy, pre-Halo, when you had an opportunity to get away scot-free. Halle says no to this tweet. He says, what's wrong with it? She says, Donald, of all people, let's not. I'm guessing this is Ruby Rose related. He says, it is not that deep, LOL. She says, it is, though. Donald, oh, excuse me. Donald, as in, my bad. This is about Donald. This is Donald Trump. No to this tweet. I don't know what he tweeted about The Apprentice. Donald, of all people, let's not. He says, it's not that deep. She says, it is, though. Donald is a racist man who doesn't care about us. Why would you leave? He says, I'm done with the threats. She says, stop being this way. File attachment with meme type. Answer the fucking phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever, okay? So she's trying to call. She's texting him. He's ignoring her. She's getting worked up. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl. That's it. Okay? He says, I just want to be left alone, please. She says, I'm calling for help. I have a knife. I'm calling for help, but you don't care, do you? Okay. He says, have knife for what? She says, I called because I needed help. What did she need help from? Was she to where she had a knife and was calling for help? Is this a mental breakdown that she needed help for, or was it like an intruder? But you've shown time and time again that you just don't care, and that's okay. Whatever I decide to do is none of your concern. Just leave me in peace. He says, I came there to check on you for you to act like you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, so she was going through the situation. She was having suicidal thoughts, I guess. For you to act like you're going to hurt yourself to make me feel some type of way is manipulative and selfish. I never thought you would do nothing like that. She says, I never thought you would leave either. Guess I didn't know you at all. Yeah. Wrong. She wrong in this instance. Um, and it's hard. I gotta be honest. It's hard to leave somebody when they're using these type of tactics. Be fair. I gotta be fair. As somebody who's going through it, you don't want to leave that person out to dry. I understand. I don't fuck with DDG. Okay, but if she used that as a tactic to keep him, she was dead ass wrong. I don't care. She says, and nobody's acting like anything. Whatever I decide to do is my decision. Don't feel sad either. It's cool. Yeah, I've been through that. That's not a good feeling. She says, you literally told me to leave. This push and pull shit you keep doing is childish. You keep threatening to leave me alone and saying you can F with somebody else. I'm not sticking around for that. So this was in March of 2022. I would love to see more context of that conversation, honestly. Exhibit 5. She says, bet. I'm going to call you one more time. Okay, he texts back almost immediately, says, phone is on airplane mode. I'm not letting you ruin my day over this bullshit. Now, we don't know what this bullshit is. The trust issues are becoming overwhelming. Maybe that's for the best. I put in too much time and effort into making you happy to have to deal with this bullshit every other day. And in your eyes, you're never wrong. It's frustrating and I'm over it. I'm no longer entertaining this argument. I need to work on becoming more successful like Jay-Z, like you said. What is this here? Why is Jay-Z in the conversation? So he's alleging that she said you need to be more like Jay-Z? Damn. Or maybe she's saying you need to carry yourself more like Jay-Z, like a successful businessman who stays out the fucking way. Versus being DDG who's always in some shit. I can't say, I'm just assuming, but I would love to know the context on the Jay-Z comments. He says, then maybe you'll take my vision of becoming a big label owner serious instead of shitting on my dreams every second you get, okay? So he's making it seem as though she doesn't support his musical dream of becoming a big artist and merging, I guess, his streaming or his YouTube content creation and, you know, maybe turning that into something bigger. I'm just guessing that's what he means. She says, you don't want to be with me? That's okay. I will never beg anyone. She says, I will be successful. No lie detected. She says, I don't need to be with someone who is going to demean me. You like that I'm insecure. Interesting. It makes you feel good about yourself. I'm not doing this anymore. Keep your phone on airplane mode, but when I die, don't say shit. Again, here we go. This ain't it. This ain't it. I was with her when she said I will be successful. I was there. She said, I don't need to be with somebody who gonna demean me. I'm with you. You like that I'm insecure? I'm even with you there. It makes you feel good about yourself. I was with you. I'm not doing this anymore. I like to hear it. Keep your phone on airplane mode. Hell yeah, fuck it. But when I die, don't say shit. This is where the conversation, I gotta say, is a manipulation tactic. Don't come to my funeral or anything. F you. Be happy. These are the last texts you get from me. No, I will not co-sign these last 4 texts. Crazy how the one person I thought I could trust and be there for me constantly proves me wrong. You are wrong. You know that emotionally I struggle and have a hard time, yet when I'm obviously going through something, you ignore me until I go crazy. You throw in my face my insecurities and laugh about it, okay? So they got some back and forth shit going on. Both of them are not in the right. Okay? And there's a lot of unseen, unheard shit going on that us as the public are being thrown into and basically being forced to pick a side to a degree. But both of them are wrong. You put your phone on airplane mode and say you're not dealing with it, but when something bad happens, don't say anything, because this was my attempt to beg you to listen to me, to just answer the phone, to just hear me, to try and understand where I'm coming from. But you don't. And you'll regret it. You'll regret ever meeting me. Go back to the bitches you're used to. Go back to fucking thoughts. That's what you want. You've never wanted anyone like me. You and your family hate me. Just admit it, but that's okay. Everyone does. But Poseidon. I will go and fly and be just fine in heaven without any of this, without any of you rude ass people making me feel bad about myself. And you can show these texts to whoever you want. Laugh about it now. Goodbye. He says, I was in the shower. If you want to talk, you can talk to me in person instead of eating food without me. And I never eat without making sure you eat first. So now he's trying to, looks like he's trying to kind of acquiesce and come to terms with having the conversation she wants to have. Says, okay, I'm leaving. The doors are locked. You can come get Poseidon and your laptop and stuff tomorrow. I'm guessing Poseidon is a dog. I don't know. I don't keep that close tabs on what they got going on to that degree. She says, I'm gonna go home. I just want to resolve it so I can get some sleep, please. You don't ever have to talk to me again, but I can't breathe right now. I'm just so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid. I want to die. I never want to be here again. I hate this all. I hate this life. He says, please stop taking it to this extreme. She says, I tried begging my only friend to help me. He says, I'm still communicating with you. She says, you won't help me. I'm so tired. I'm in pain. I don't want to do this anymore every day. You lie on me to your mama. He said, that's why I said we need to take time apart. Why are you lying to your mama about her though? See, because you making it seem like she's doing things out of the blue that you don't understand. But in her own text to you, she's telling us what's going on. She said, you lie on me to your mama. Why you do that? He said, that's why I said we need some time apart. No, that's why you need to stop lying on her to your mama. You know what I mean? Because you're not being emotionally supportive here. And in this situation, I can get how it can be difficult to be. She says, you make it seem I'm this horrible person, even though I've cleared up everything. Just leave me to die. I will be fine. You cause me pain. You are selfish. I've been crying nonstop because of you. I can't be here anymore. He says, you're sick. You push everyone away who really tried to love you. Oof. I've tried really hard to fight for this relationship. I can't do this with you anymore when you constantly are purposely throwing me into the fire, right? Because she's constantly being embarrassed by this dude. He says, okay, block me. She says, I've just asked for understanding. He says, I'm done texting. Do what you gotta do. She says, if I die, you wouldn't even care. Like, I'm done texting. Do what you gotta do. And by this point in June 28th of 2023, she's pregnant. Because she had her child in December. So this is while she's pregnant. So this is all like hormones and all that stuff going through her. In the midst of you lying on her to your mama. He said, you just tripping and keep threatening me to blank my unborn son. You're weird. I wouldn't feel safe having a child with you at this point. Stop being fake happy to be a mom. Yikes. She says, weird. I've had enough. I don't want to talk to you ever. So now, whoa. This timeline ain't right. So you stop here in, no, it's 2 years ago. Almost. Yeah, she's pregnant at the time. And then we get to last year. So this ain't even the next text. This is a whole year later almost. She says, weird. I've had enough. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Please don't contact me. If you need to contact me, please reach out to my sister or Shermay. I hate you. You are the most horrible person I've ever met. This is last year. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down every time. And then speak about exchanging my son in a money deal for views. Doodle garbage. She's telling us what's going on here. Exchanging her son in a money deal for views. And openly flirt and help every other woman in the world but me. You hate me and want me to die. That part I cannot get with. She says, I want to die because of you. I will die because of you. I can't get with that stuff. You start talking about death and putting it on the other person. I cannot get behind that. But why is no one actually trying to help this young lady to get professional help? She says, it's your fault. Cry about it later. So at this time, she's going through postpartum, if I'm not mistaken, right? She's told us about that. He says, why do you want me to sit on the phone and listen to you yell at me all day? You do this to me every day. She says, I beg you for help. You know I don't have anyone. You know I'm actively blank and struggling. You know I've been running to the doctor every day for help and you still play in my face. I won't make it to my birthday because of you. You have ruined me and all my happiness. You hang up when I'm begging for help. You're the only help I used to have, and you're so focused on being famous and having money when you don't even see what's in front of you. How could you? How could you go to Mexico and be with someone else? Okay, so he's being accused of cheating again. How could you openly talk shit about me to all your family and all the women you want to sleep with? You want to ruin me, and you succeeded. I hope you are happy. I didn't make it. I tried. I can't do this anymore. Again, I understand that she's going through a lot, but I cannot, I don't got to elaborate. I can't. You can make up whatever story you want to tell people about how I am or how I used to be. You can make up whatever you want when I'm gone. Tell everyone I'm crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to realize how badly you effed up, how you ruined me, and any chance I had of having a good life and putting myself back together, and you continue to ignore us, me and your son, all alone. You don't care about us anymore. You never did. He says, you want to blank yourself because I tweeted Sexy Red a good rapper? This literally makes no sense. I highly doubt that's what it was. She says, so this is another situation here. This goes back another year. We're back in 2023. This is pre-pregnancy. You won't. Everyone is against me. I can't. I'm embarrassed and humiliated and tired. No one understands how I feel. I tried. Hurting yourself won't fix anything. He says the internet shit is irrelevant. It's fixed already. Nah, it ain't fixed, nigga, because you always got her in some internet shit. That part I can't ride with you on. You always got her in some internet shit. That's why don't nobody like your stupid ass. Know why everybody been said to get away from your motherfucking ass. She said, just leave me alone. He said, stop thinking about that. She says, don't ever try to contact me again. This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. Damn. So that was conversation in February 23. Now we back in March of 24 all over again. This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You won't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I have been seeing this whole Lala thing circulating on social media as well. I don't personally know who Lala is, but apparently she's another streamer. She says, I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to blank myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. This ain't okay. That's not okay by no means. She says, I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom that don't look good. He says, I can't believe you're acting like this. What you mean? If you sleeping around with another streamer and you know what she got going on, you know how she's been, because this ain't the first time. She says you put your penis inside of her in Mexico, knowing I was here taking care of our son, knowing I was crying before you left. You selfish, disgusting person. You're evil. I am giving your giving you your our son. He says you're making stuff up. She says, please, I don't want him around for this. Please take him from me. I don't want him to see me like this. I'm begging you for Halo, please. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Knowing I poured my heart out to you before I left, you still went and effed her, and you can't even own up to it. I hate you. You are evil. You want me to die. Please take Halo. Okay? So this is an emotional outburst. She allegedly found out that he had slept with another streamer out in Mexico when she was already emotional before he left. She had Halo about 3 months prior to this. She was very open about her PPD, and he then cheated on her, which clearly triggered her into an episode. Okay? He says, I'm genuinely scared of you, man. I feel like you're going to blank me in my sleep one day. I'm not allowing you in my house around guns. Please just go home and I'll pick Halo up from there. These are definitely not the way you handle a situation like this, especially when you signed up for this when you had a child with her. You had the opportunity to get away. You signed up for a lifetime of whatever comes with it. Now, I do think that, being that she displayed this behavior before even having a child, she needs some help. She's a beautiful young girl. She's talented. She could have the world in her palm, but she was making these threats before having Halo. She needs help. Me and Halo are in the cold and you won't let us in our house. Are you serious? He says, I'm not letting you in my house around guns. So they're standing outside at 11:18 p.m. at night, and he's not letting her in the house. What the fuck, man? I'm here in my pajamas in the cold and you won't let us in your house. Wow. Okay, I asked for help. I asked you to take Halo from me right now and you won't. Instead, you leave us in the cold. You will never hear from me again. He said it's not safe for you to be around guns. Please just go home and we'll figure it out later. Why did you not just take your son in the house and say go home? At bare minimum, if you don't want her in your house, she sent you like 10 texts saying take your son. And she's clearly going through something very serious mentally. Why did you not remove your son from the situation? At bare minimum, I'll take Halo. You go figure your shit out. He didn't even do that. He didn't let him or her in the house. She says, there is no later. There was only now and you missed it. I called and texted 1,000 times. You can't tell me I didn't ask for your help in the height of my struggle. I did, and you denied me over and over to spend time at the club. Left me outside in the cold outside of your house. We can never come back from this. Excuse me. You missed your chance to take Halo. You did. She says, we are leaving. He says, as long as you don't hurt yourself, I'm cool with that. We'll figure it out later. You failed, sir. You failed. As a father in this moment, you failed. She says, I've already started hurting myself. That's bad. That's not good. She says, congrats. You killed me. Evil, evil man. You never cared about me. You called my family. They're not going to help me. I'm not answering anyone. I called you because I needed to speak to you, and now you've made it worse. You never cared about me or loved me. It was all a lie. You have treated me like shit on the ground. I didn't deserve this. I tried my hardest. I want... Whoa, 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 whoa. So that was in March. These dates keep switching up. So now we get to... What is this? August? of 24 of last year. She says, "You have treated me like shit on the ground. I didn't deserve this. I tried my heart." We don't know like what happened on this date. I ain't gonna say we don't know. I don't know what happened on this date. Y'all might. "I didn't deserve this. I tried my hardest. I want to live. I want to be happy. I don't want to die. But I don't know what else to do. I've tried. I'm reaching out to you for your help. To please come get your son because I am not okay." Okay, so this is another episode. "I am not okay and don't want him to be around me like this. I don't know what else to do. You've hurt me too bad. You've made everything so much worse. I don't want Halo to be around me like this. He finally says I'm coming to get him." Okay. She says, "But then you come and you try to take him from me and say disrespectful stuff to me like pack his bag, like I'm a dog." Interesting. If you're going to get your son, you could pack his bag. Why she got to do it? When she's not herself in this moment. So why she got to do it? This is bad. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm a dog. You've hurt me too bad. You've hurt me to my core. Please just leave me alone. I'm not okay, and it's because of you. I'm not okay, and it's because of what you did. I'm not okay. Please just leave me alone. He says, "So can I get Halo or no, Halle?" She already said, "Come get him." You said you was on your way. You not on your way? She says, "I'm tired of asking. I've reached out for help multiple times. There's proof everywhere that I tried to reach out for help before I did this." He says, "I'm on the way already to get Halo." She says, "I tried so hard. I did everything I could. I loved you the best that I could. I thought me having your child would prove to you my commitment and my loyalty to you." Oh, boy. "But you went behind my back, and now my son will have a broken home. I tried so hard. I did everything I could up until this point. Why do I have to do something drastic for anyone to take me seriously? You will miss me when I'm gone. I'm tired. I've been alone in this apartment for 6 days, every day in my bed. I've gone crazy in this room. I don't want to be here anymore. Please just leave me alone. You've done enough." So now we get into the declaration of George, which previously stated was DDG's mom's boyfriend, husband, slash DDG's driver. So where's the declaration? They're getting more into more text. DDG says, stop talking like you're gonna hurt yourself or Halo." She said, "I would never hurt my child ever. I am simply not tough enough for this world. Please take Halo so he doesn't have to see. I am not okay. My heart is broken. I can't pretend everything is okay. I've asked for help so many times, too many times. I feel like I'm drowning. You've never cared about me, not once in my life. You lied to me about loving me. You never did. I'm just too heartbroken. Please just leave me alone. I will be gone soon, and then you can be free. I'm exhausted. I can't keep up anymore. I won't." This ain't no damn declaration. So now we go back to February of this year. "You didn't talk about Halo for more than 2 minutes. That whole conversation was about girls. I'm working. I don't know what to tell you." So this is this year. She says, "Every day I want to blank because of the way you embarrass me online and allow other women to speak on me. I keep going because of how much I love our son." DDG says, "I have 40K in bills every month. I have no choice but to work." Sounds like you should be downsizing your lifestyle. "And how much I know he needs me." He says, "Send me a clip of a girl disrespecting you." I think that's about Bia. But it could be others on stream that I don't know about. But I did see something about him and her speaking on Bia. He says, "I'll give you 10K if you can." She says, "You constantly hurt me and then try to say I'm wrong for asking for support." All right, now we go back to 2024. "I just thought we'd do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother's Day. But if you really want to go, you can." Okay, so she wasn't allowed to enjoy her Mother's Day peacefully in 2025 nor 2024. But if you really want to go, you can. So you left her alone on Mother's Day last year. I'll just go home and pack. Hello. He says, if you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my gun. That gun has no safety. Okay, so at this point, she was thinking of unaliving herself on Mother's Day last year. That's crazy. Not calling her crazy, but crazy as in the situation. Put it down. That's not nothing to play with. He then sends a picture of Halo. Says you're going to him. What? You're going to him go through life without a mom? I have to call the police. I can't let this happen. She says, I tried calling. It's just weird. You wouldn't think to check on if we made it safely. This is my point. After a day like yesterday and the things you said to me, you are just not capable of showing me any affection or love. I call and you send me the voicemail like I'm disturbing you, like I'm just a fly that's in your way. Okay, now believe Miss Tanya is DDG's mom. I'm the mother of DDG, the respondent in the above entitled matter. I make this declaration based on my personal knowledge and if called as a witness, blah, blah, blah. I reside in LA County. I am closely involved in my son's life, as is my fiance, George Charleston, who also serves as my son's driver. Both George and I were involved in identifying and locating multiple Apple AirTags that were secretly placed in Daryl's vehicles. The first AirTag was discovered in June 2023 in Daryl's Maybach. Daryl called me that night, stating that petitioner Halle Bailey had shown up uninvited to a movie theater in Beverly Hills where he was attending a film with a female friend. Petitioner called me directly that night, angrily stating that she knew Daryl was at the movies and made threats to F him up. George and I drove to the theater out of concern for Daryl's safety. When we arrived, we saw Petitioner outside the theater, visibly upset and attempting to go confront and physically fight the woman he was with. I personally intervened to help de-escalate the situation. The next day, George, Daryl, and I thoroughly searched the Maybach and found an Apple AirTag hidden beneath the back seat. The discovery clarified for us all to how Petitioner had tracked Daryl's location in the movie theater. A few days later, George received similar AirTag alerts while driving Daryl's Cadillac Escalade. Although we initially could not find the device, the alerts persisted. We searched the vehicle repeatedly and eventually located a second AirTag in the back of the Escalade. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks later, yet another AirTag was found in the Escalade, this time concealed inside a vitamin bottle. Again, George's phone was receiving AirTag tracking alerts while driving. After persistent searching, Daryl located the device hidden in the bottle. A fourth AirTag was found on April 2024 after the birth of Daryl's son, Halo. I personally found this device inside the baby's diaper bag, hidden underneath the internal cardboard lining. This device was a different model, one commonly marketed for use with pets. I took a photograph of this AirTag, which is attached in this declaration as Exhibit 6. I can't really co-sign all this AirTag tracking, I gotta be honest. Each of these discoveries involved Daryl, George, and me working together to locate the devices. George would receive the alerts and we would search the vehicles until the AirTags were physically discovered. In January 2025, George and I moved into Daryl's home. While helping clean and organize the house, I discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. These had been left behind by Petitioner, who had lived in the room on and off both before and during her pregnancy. She moved out shortly after the baby was born in December 2023. The box of AirTags remains in Daryl's possession. That sounds strange to me. That sounds strange. She left in 2023 with all these AirTags in the house. But then y'all started discovering them in 2024? No, in 2023. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want. I feel like DDG was planting these and alerting his family about him. Because how she leave a whole box of them bitches and all of a sudden they start popping up in all his vehicles. Or maybe not. Hold on. So she moved out in December. The first was discovered in June 2023. So she was living in the house at the time. Okay. I'll give you that. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know. The repeated placement of these tracking devices establishes a clear and deliberate pattern of unauthorized surveillance and stalking of Daryl by petitioner. These actions caused Daryl significant emotional distress and concern for his safety, particularly given the threatening behavior I personally witnessed at the movie theater incident. I would think Miss Tanya, who was allegedly present for way more, would have talked about some of the violent interactions, some of the stuff that happened in the house in her declaration. Some of the phone calls that she received from her son about Halle putting hands on him. Why didn't she attest to any of those in her declaration? So these are the ear tags. This is the pet ear tag. So now we get to George, because that thing said George a couple pages ago, and there was nothing but additional text messages from her and DDG. He's just co-signing everything that his mom put there. Nothing different. All right, we've been here for nearly 2 hours. Definitely a relationship that should have never been. I think they were both bad for each other. I think they both use manipulation tactics on each other. I still think that DDG is a fuck nigga. I don't respect him, don't like him. But I also feel as though Halle Bailey has done some things to manipulate the relationship, try to keep him, with her. She used, those emotional moments of wanting to die as a way to try to keep him in her life. I can't co-sign those things. If the AirTag thing is actually real, I can't say that she's in the right for surveilling him in his daily day-to-day motion. However, the AirTag in the baby bag, if she did do that, we do have Halle's her restraining order that talked about how he was moving about with their child, going to New Jersey without talking ahead of time and stuff like that. And then they had to arrange for Halo to be flown back with the mom and all this different type of stuff. So there's unspoken situations of him leaving with the child without saying where they're going to be. So I guess that was her way of keeping track of where Halo was. So some of these situations, it may not be about DDG per se, but where are you going with my son? Who do you have my son around? Where is he going? Right? But if it was directly to keep tabs on DDG, I can't say it's okay. I hate the fact that they have a child involved. I hate the fact that these are young parents in entertainment, in the public eye, with an innocent child in the mix who didn't ask for none of this shit. Didn't ask to be here, didn't ask for these parents. Imperfect people, none of us are. And I hope that they both get the help that they need, because the bickering back and forth, the tit for tat, the retaliatory shit that they're doing, it's not going to help anything. It's not going to make anything better. Perhaps if they do, put the visitation stuff for DDG on schedule, on calendar, decrease the amount of activity or communication that they have to do amongst each other, where they can just arrange for peaceful drop-offs and visits and things of that nature. Maybe things can get better. I think both of them are going to need help. I think Halle clearly needs mental help with whatever depression she's dealing with, whether it be postpartum or just overall depression, or suicidal ideation and stuff like that she's been living with, because those date back to 2022 as early in the text, possibly even before, that we didn't know about. If she's put her hands on him, perhaps she does need to go to classes. He needs to go and do those classes as well, because clearly he's put his hands on her. We're not gonna gloss over that. We're not gonna act like it didn't happen. They both need help. They both need to grow up, and they both need to do it for the sake of their child. That's where I stand on this. I still do not fuck with DDG. I'm going to stand on that square very squarely. Right? And I do put the majority of the responsibility on him as the man. That's man. That's what comes with it. You got to step up as a man. You had a lot of incidents where you didn't handle your shit correctly. Cheating, yeah, people cheat. You don't have to cheat. You ain't want to go back and be with Halle? Don't be with Halle. You had the opportunity to escape before her pregnancy. You had the ability to escape during her pregnancy, where she gave you the out that she would go and do the termination and you could go on with life. You said you wanted her to keep the child, which means that you was down to continue to be in her life in some capacity and co-parent. She's had the child. You don't really show up the way that you're supposed to. You show up when you want to, and typically the child is with your mama. Your mama didn't put no penis in nobody for a child. Okay? You knocking her teeth pieces out. We not doing that. Bruised ribs. That ain't coming from her on her own. Ruby Rose had the same bruises. No. Truthfully, your ass should be locked up. But since that ship has sailed, at least on those past incidents, you need to get some motherfucking help. All right? That's Judge Nolan's ruling on this motherfucker, all right? I'm quite sure there's going to be people that disagree with me at different points in this video, may not like certain things that I have to say. I understand it. This is not a subject that is going to be universally agreed upon. There's too many moving parts. There's too many variables that we don't know in the midst of everything that we do, which also can lead to various forms of misinterpretation, not only for me as a commentator, but also as viewers and people consuming this public riff. We don't have all the facts. We have portions of incidents, but we don't know the long and full-length details of what led to these text messages and all of these different things. We have limited accounts to go off of. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I'll be talking about this shit all day if I don't put a hard stop on it. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Please be respectful, not only to me, but also to the situation, to Halle, and to you ain't gotta be respectful to DDG. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna catch y'all in a minute. Y'all be good out there. I'll be back with more content shortly. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.